Hello there potatoes and welcome back to another video on my channel. Now, the story I'm going to tell you today is pretty, I don't know, pretty surprising, pretty strange. But I'm going to tell you, I've been wanting to make this story time video for a while, but I've never got around to it, and I always wanted to make sure, you know, I had my thoughts collected about what I wanted to say and all. And this, you know, this may not even be the final version of it if I want to cut things and all. So anyway, I'm gonna get into that now. Enjoy the gameplay in the background. The start of it there is Black Ops 3, and we're going into some CS:GO in a minute. So anyway, I have this house in my neighborhood, and it's kind of strange to say the least, or at least it was at the time this was happening, which is about 2 or 3 years ago. So I always suspected something strange about that house. I used to, like, it used to be a route I would take to walk my dog. That was about it. Like, it's not a direct route to anywhere else, but I used to walk my dog around there. And all I'd ever noticed was that the garden was always really overgrown and the blinds were always closed. So you're probably just jumping to conclusions thinking, well, the house is obviously unowned or whatever. There were people there, definitely. And the reason I know this is because, yes, although the blinds were always closed, there were always cars outside, and the cars outside would always change. Like, they were all Saabs, or most of them were Saabs, if you know what that is, like a Saab car. Most of them were Saabs, and they always changed. Like, and I'm not talking about every few months, I'm talking every few weeks. There'd be different cars in the driveway. So that's when things started to get a little bit strange, you know. I suppose after this point, a few months later, again, I was passing the house, and every time I'd pass the house from now on this time, sometimes the cars would be dismantled, like right down to the frame, I'm talking. And okay, you could understand this if it was just one car, but every time I'd pass, there'd be like all the different cars would all be dismantled. And the reason that I started to put things together in my head is because if the blinds are always closed, you know, perhaps this is some kind of marijuana plantation, you know. There was never any noises. Well, sometimes you'd hear noises from in the house, but like very rarely. But it was just generally quite odd. And yeah, so I was starting to wonder if this was some kind of marijuana plantation, if they were growing weed in here, or some other form of drug which I don't know about. But I wasn't really sure, you know, there's no real clear evidence that this would be that suspicious. But then again, it did seem like something was just off about it, you know what I mean? So anyway, I continued to walk past every few weeks or so, and the cars would continue to be dismantled. Sometimes, what I would notice is a car would be dismantled one week and then put back together the next week. And then the week after that, it would be gone completely. And the week after that, it would be replaced by another car. So the cycle seemed to be some sort of cycle continuing here. Anyway, it's around this time that I started to notice one of the men who supposedly lived in this house. And he was this Chinese man in his 50s. And he had a really big handlebar moustache. And he just used to freak me out whenever I'd walk past. Like, so the first time I just saw him walking into the house, and I was just like, whoa. Alright then. So we're coming up now, what brings us to the final day, and like at this point, I know my imagination is probably going wild, but I was pretty sure that there was some sort of illegal activity going on in this house, be it or be it not a marijuana plantation or something like that. Anyway, I came along and I saw the Chinese man, or handlebar moustache man, in his car, just sitting there, you know, just chilling, and there was some other guy, he was like a normal guy. He was there, and he was just sitting there, and they saw me coming along. You see, this street, it's not my street, it's a street near mine, and it is very quiet. I mean, so I guess that's probably why they were sort of surprised to see me there. But anyway, the craziest thing happened next. The one guy who was standing next to the car, he just sort of quickly went into the house, and the guy, handlebar moustache man, takes off in his Saab at like 100 miles an hour, skidding around the corner, and off he goes, you know. And yeah, so at that point, you know, I reckon after that day, the people either got reported to the police by somebody who thought, you know, the house is suspicious, or these guys got paranoid and left. And you know, maybe I'm just having an overactive imagination, but after that day, I was almost 99% sure there was some sort of weird illegal activities going on in there. Maybe it was just drug smuggling, maybe it wasn't even a marijuana plantation, but it's just the way the blinds were all closed all the time that made me sort of think that. But anyway, since that point, the blinds in that house are now open. In more recent times, like this, like I said, this was 2 or 3 years ago that this all happened, but the blinds are now open, and you never see any cars parked outside there. So I assumed maybe even those people were living there illegally, because there's no for sale sign up now or anything like that. Anyway, potatoes, that's my encounter with some rather suspicious people, be it drug dealers or not, or doing some sort of illegal smuggling, who knows. But the way the cars were dismantled, I also thought, you know, maybe they're actually putting stuff into the lining of the cars. That would kind of make sense. Anyway, I have a whole load of theories about it, but I could sit here and talk all day, but I'm not going to, because I'll bore you. So anyway, potatoes, I'd like to thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio.
Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint locked down. UAV inbound. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint is ours.